All right, next here we're going to look at our section view. So this dividing line right here, and creating these arrows. And you can see I'm actually on my layer of, and it shows the phantom layer for this. The phantom layer is quite thick. So if you look at this here, under layer properties, our phantom layer, and you can see the thickness here, but it's 0.31 inches, or 0.031. I think if I click this here, you can see that actual thickness here. Our border layer is the only one that is a little bit thicker. So we're going to use that, and we're also going to use our text layer for this here, because the text layer is a little bit thinner. Okay, so I'm going to delete what I have here. And I'll just delete all this right now. And I'll delete all this too. Okay, before you start creating this here, you're going to want to make sure that your drawing looks something like this here. You want to make sure you have enough space up here for your detailed view. Make sure all that's correct. The section line is really all the last thing you really want to do. So back here on my model space here, I'm also going to make sure I don't have any extra dimension lines in here for any extra objects. I think I might see one even right in here. So let's see what we got right there. And I can delete that up there. So these little yellow lines here I don't really need anymore right now. Just to clean my object up as much as I can. Ultimately, if you have a few on there, I'm not going to knock off for it. But if I was actually doing this in a professional setting, I would want to make sure it's completely clean and accurate. Okay, so this here, so my object line here, or phantom line, on my phantom, I'm going to go line. I'm going to make sure that I have my object snap on here. Turn you on. And I also want to make sure that I have extension on. Okay, so how this works here, we haven't really talked about this, but I can click over, drag, and I'm just going to go about that far over. And then I'm going to drag all the way across my object right here. So and go about the same distance on that side. And you just want to get roughly about the same distance. Make sure it doesn't look too crazy there. That looks great. And then I'm going to draw simply up in that corner. Okay, I'm going to go up, and I'm going to do 0.5. 0.5, enter. And let me do the same thing on this side. L, and then 0.5, and enter. And escape. All right, now I have my phantom line drawn. I'm going to change this here. I'm going to turn off my line with display so I can see it a bit better. And I'm going to zoom in on this left side. I'm going to switch to my text layer, and we're going to use a text layer for this arrow because it's a little bit thinner. If I was to use our phantom line, it'd be too thick, and there'd actually be a rounding on the, I don't have my other one open up right now, but there'd be a rounding weirdly on the top if I had my other drawing opened up. And we want to make sure that we don't have that weird rounding on our triangle. And this will make sense here in a moment. But line, and I'm going to draw a straight line straight across here. I'm going to keep this one a bit thinner, so this is the bottom of my arrow, so maybe about there. Then I'm going to draw a line straight up from the center. I'm going to go up, right about there, and then L space, and I can just fill this out here. So lock that in like so. I can delete that. Okay, that looks good for an arrow. I could have it a bit thinner, but that's okay. Hatch. Select your hatch tool here, and then we're going to do solid hatch on this here, and simply click inside there. Then I'm actually going to group all this together here. Make sure this is one solid object here, so GROPU. Group. Okay, and then CO for copy. Actually, I'm going to select a base point here, so I guess we'll just move it right now. I can move it down there on top of that. There's multiple ways to do this here. And then CO for copy. I'm going to select a base point. I'm going to bring it all the way across to the other side, like so. Okay, this is again for our section line. Just make sure I get the right spot. That looks good, like that. And then I'm going to go to my last thing here I think I have to do here is I'm going to be on my text layer again here. I'm going to go to annotate here, make sure I'm on neck title. And I'll do a single line, and I'm simply going to click over here, drag across, and then A, capital A. And this is for section A here. So escape here, I can move that around a little bit. Move it around that way, move it up. The computer's lagging when I'm trying to record here, so I'm going to move it up a tiny bit, like right there, and then I'm going to go CO for copy. I'm going to select a base point on here and drag it all the way across. And notice here, since I have my ortho mode on right there, it locks on that exact space right there. I go right across, escape. Okay, I got my A and my A. All right, I think I'm ready to submit. So this is your final video here before you're going to watch the video on how to print it. But double check everything right here. And even when you print this here, you're going to print it at school. I bet that you will see some mistakes. You'll have to go back and fix it, hopefully, before you make your final submission. But I think I got everything off there. Sweet. All right, let's check out that last video, everyone.